If you've ever wondered how to stitch a French knot, or maybe just how you can use it in some of your work, then you've come to the right place. Hi everyone, I'm back with another video, and this time I'm going to demonstrate the French knot. I'm Julie, and I like to stitch fabric landscapes using both quilting techniques and hand embroidery. So my landscapes are layers of all different types of fabrics that I hand stitch together, and then at the end of that process I like to add in all the details that I want to see with embroidery. So I might add in flowers or grasses, sometimes a fence post, or just different trees and bushes. And so all these things are easier to add with embroidery than it is to add with extra bits of fabric. So in this demonstration, I'm going to show you how I do the French knot, and I'll also give you some ideas of how you might be able to use it in your work. Let's get started. Grab your glasses and a thimble. Now, the French knot is something I use virtually every day. And it can be used in flowers, it can be used in berries. Sometimes I just use it to fill in space, to add texture. What I'm going to use to show you the French knot today is a pearl cotton. So this is a size 8 pearl cotton. You can also use embroidery floss. That's no problem at all. Now, one of the things that I need to say ahead of time is because I do not have a hoop, I hold everything loose when I embroider. I have this fabric fused at the back with it's a medium weight fusible woven interfacing. So it's just backing my cotton fabric. This is cotton fabric that I will often use in my skies for my landscapes, but I wanted to use it for the demo today. And I want to show you how you can do French knots without necessarily having a hoop. You just have to be a little bit more careful about how you're stitching it. So I've threaded with this beautiful sort of deep burgundy color, and I thought it would be fun to add it into, this is a little bush that we did in the feather stitch video, and I'm going to add in some little berries into this bush. So the way a French knot is done, I'm just going to do one as an example, and I'm going to come up somewhere beside the bush. I want you to be able to see it well. So you come up with your thread. Then what you're going to do, I lay my piece flat on the table. Then I'm going to hold this thread with my left hand, take the needle, wrap around it twice, so 1, 2 times. Then I put my needle back down into the fabric just over from where I came up. I don't go through the same hole, I go just over, and then I pull this thread to move the knot sort of down my needle all the way to the fabric. Then what I do is I put my hand behind, still kind of controlling that thread a little, and I will pull my needle through the fabric. And as I'm pulling it through, I'm going to let go of that thread, and when you pull it, it becomes a little knot. Such a cute little knot. Now you can make a French knot wrapping it once, twice, or 3 times, like as many times as you want, but it just makes different sizes of knots. So I'll show you again. So I just came up. This time I'm just going to wrap it once, and you'll see the difference. So I'm going back down right beside where I came up, pull that thread nice and close to the fabric, and then when I pull through, it makes a little knot. And you can really see the size difference there. So I probably like the smaller one better for berries, but for the sake of this demo, I'm just going to do a little cluster of berries all together here. So I come up through my fabric, wrap it once or twice, then I put my needle down, and I'm going to pull it through while I'm holding it with my thumb a little, just to guide it. I usually just hold it right until it gets to the end of the thread. It's just to stop it from getting bunched up. And you can just do a little cluster of French knots to make a little bunch of berries. Wrap it once, put it in, and send it through. And they actually go surprisingly quick once you get going. So I'm just going to tie this off because I want to show you how I would use it in a flower or something like that. Okay, so we did these little fly stitches in one of the other videos. So you can watch that in the fly stitch video. But I'm just going to use a pink pearl cotton this time. Let's see. And that ought to do it. This is actually quite a good needle. It is a really strong needle. It's one that I use for sashiko stitching. Okay, so let me just show you that, how I tie the knot on the end of my thread. Once the needle is threaded, take the end of your thread, hold it against your finger in between your needle and your finger, wrap it, usually go around twice, then grab that little wrap with your thumb and pull it through, and you'll have a knot on the end of your thread. So if I was doing some flowers, I would bring up my needle right in the middle of that plant and wrap it twice. And I put my point of my needle just beside where I came up. Does not have to be right in the same hole. And pull it through. How cute is that? We could do a little cluster. 2, and then pull it so that I always pull it so that the knot goes right down to the end, to the tip of your needle before you start pulling it through. So watch, I'll do one more in the top of this cluster. It'll be a little cluster of 3. So I'm coming up, wrap my needle twice, then you go down just beside where you came up. Okay, and I'm going to pull with this finger to move that thread down to the end of my needle, and then I push it through and pull that through. I'm using my thumb just to guide that thread so it doesn't get all bunched up. There, so that's 3 little French knots together. It's just such a cute little way to do flowers. Now, this seems like a good time for me to show you. There's another stitch you can do that is using a French knot, but it's slightly different. It's called a pistil stitch. And I'm just going to show you as if this is one that I would probably only use in the center of a flower, like if I was doing something like a daylily. So you can come up, and this is how you do a pistil stitch. It is a French knot, so we're going to wrap it twice, but instead of going down right near where I came up, I'm going to go up a bit and then put my needle in. And watch what happens. I'm going to pull my thread to move that knot to the end of my needle. Then I grab the thread and pull that through, and it makes the knot right up there at the end. Isn't that so cute? I'll do another one right beside it. So I'm going to come up out of the fabric. I'm going to wrap my needle twice and then go back down further away from where I came up. And then when I pull that thread through, it creates that little knot on the end of a stem. So that's a pistil stitch. That is a really similar, it's the same motion as a French knot. I'll do another little French knot up at the top here. 1, 2. But it can add some sort of interesting variety to your stitches, especially if you're doing flowers or if you enjoy stitching that kind of thing. It would also be lovely if you're doing like a little Christmas embroidery to add in some berries or something. So that's a French knot. there we go. So I will tie that off. And I just want to show you an example of one of my landscapes of how I've used a French knot um, in flowers. So this is a wildflower garden. And if you're interested in stitching something like this, there will be a series that I'm putting on YouTube of how to stitch this wildflower garden. We're going to do it one flower at a time. And it's surprisingly easy. It's all simple stitches. It's just a lot of stitches. So you can see here, I've used French knots in creating that flower. Those are all knots. And I've also used French knots in making this sort of yarrow type flower. All those little yellow dots are French knots. The centers of the daisies are French knots. So a French knot is an excellent stitch to learn.
Well, thanks for watching me stitch. I hope you enjoyed that demonstration. I hope you can use the French knot in some of your own work, and whether you use a hoop or not, I think you'll find just a little bit of practice, you're going to get really quick at it. If you haven't already seen my top 10 beginner stitches, you should watch that video next, because it shows you all the stitches that I think are the most basic, but they're so good to know if you're a beginner in embroidery. And if you want to see more of my work, you're welcome to head to my website at juliegarcia.com. And I will leave links to all of that below this video. So thanks again for watching. Bye for now, and I will see you in the next one.